But it's back to the NFL, where Lamar Jackson's relationship with his head coach taking center stage. Baltimore Sun is reporting that Jackson has fallen asleep in team meetings. John Harbaugh has, quote, become tired, end quote, of the two-time NFL MVP. Article goes on to say that Jackson has a habit of staying up late playing video games. The Ravens have given him preferential treatment, including moving their practice schedule to the afternoon to accommodate him. Harbaugh responded to a report yesterday saying this type of behavior he's never seen from Jackson.
I don't know where that's coming from. I've never seen that ever. You know, that's not something that I've ever witnessed, and I'm in every meeting. Our relationship is A+. So I love him, always have, always will, and I know he's fighting like crazy to get back. So anonymous reports or things that get said or written or whatever, I don't really I don't need anybody speaking for me, you know, so just ask me and I'll tell you what I think.
Okay, obviously this was a report written by a guy who covers the team a lot. Where there's smoke, sometimes there's fire. What are you hearing about the situation in Baltimore?
Listen, these things don't come out of nowhere. They're not made up by a local guy. So clearly, even if John Harbaugh is not signing off on it, which he's answering the question the way that he should be answering it, there are people who have told that particular reporter that information. So there are questions. And when you're in a season like the Baltimore Ravens are right now, here's the deal. They've got a chance here still, as unlikely as it may be, to pull it out, make the playoffs, and try to change some of this narrative as they head into the offseason. If they don't, and it's unlikely that they will, considering the current situation, then there are going to be all sorts of organizational discussions that impact the quarterback, that impact the head coach, that impact the direction of where the Baltimore Ravens are going moving forward. Clearly, there are issues. Lamar Jackson has not practiced a full week in over 7 weeks. He's missed at least one practice for 7 straight weeks. I don't know too many players who have missed that much practice time on a consistent basis and then still performed the way that they expected to. So there are a whole host of things that this organization is going to have to address after the offseason, but they have a chance at least to diffuse some of this and change the narrative before the end of the regular season. If they can't, these questions aren't going away.
Yeah, basically, they got to win out. What about Lamar? What's the status? Do we know if he's going to play at all this week?
He has not practiced the last 2 days. Keep in mind they play Saturday night. So the last 2 days really were like in NFL Wednesday and Thursday. And when a player doesn't practice Wednesday and Thursday, that means he's trending towards not playing. Now, we'll see today if he's able to get out there and fight through this painful back injury that he's had this past week to play on Saturday night. But with their season on the line, the early signs are that it looks like Tyler Huntley, but we'll see if Lamar can get back in.
I think this is a great conversation to have because we got a former head coach, we got a former GM here. So if you're Eric DeCosta, what is he thinking here? What does he do with Lamar Jackson and John Harbaugh?
Yeah, so Brian, take you behind the scenes this time of year. People complain about head coaches, quarterbacks, even some GMs. But you ask yourself two questions. Who are you going to get and how much is that person going to cost? And I look at two fundamental numbers when we talk about Lamar Jackson. He's going to be 29 years old in a couple of weeks, still in his prime, and he has 219 career regular season touchdowns. Look, that's a high cap number. We could work around that. We could fix the cap number. But if the four of us were drafting players in the NFL, I have a list of about 10. Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Drake May, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Stroud, and Jordan Love. That would be in the conversation of players that I would probably or possibly take before Lamar Jackson. But at 29 years old, he is, at worst, a top 12 player in the league. So to me, you absolutely keep Lamar Jackson. You try to make him better. You try to fix the issues. Every situation, there are going to be challenges. But before you let him walk out the door, my gosh.
Well, he's not walking out the door.
Yeah.
Who's gonna replace him? And that's why you work hard to fix the problems.
What's your take on this as a former coach? And
Harbaugh's doing everything. I mean, he's doing exactly what he's got to do. I mean, the last thing you want is a fracture between the head coach and the quarterback going into a season that did not go the direction you thought it was going to go. I mean, we including I had them picked to go to the Super Bowl in the AFC at the beginning of this year. So I thought this team was loaded up and ready to make a move. Obviously, it's been a poor year. Lamar's been injured. I mean, even with the start they had offensively after the injury, he has been a different player, and he just hasn't looked as good. So do you attribute that to the injury? Do you attribute it to whatever this reporter is writing? I have no idea, but he hasn't played to the level, and a lot of them haven't, right? Not just in the defense didn't carry their weight. Derrick Henry didn't carry. There's a lot of blame to go around. Unfortunately, in our business, quarterbacks get way too much credit, and they get way too much blame. And so as you're looking at the situation, John Harbaugh has to do everything he's doing right now to make sure that people realize he and Lamar Jackson are one and the same, because you need one voice, and that's got to be the same voice in an NFL building.
You get the sense he's probably coaching for his job. You're looking at these last couple of games.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I don't know that they're going to fire him. Here's the thing. The fans are restless. This is no different than Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. If Harbaugh hit the street and got fired, he would have a job in 45 minutes. Mike Tomlin gets fired, but he'll have a job in 35 minutes. Like, don't miss. These are two great football coaches. Fans are frustrated. They've got 3 playoff victories, but he and Lamar together. So to the fans, that's underperforming, right? It's frustrating.
They want them to get over the hump.
More. All fans want more, right? But he has had them in an AFC Championship game. They've done some great things together. I do not think you dismantle this relationship.
But here's what you can say. If they don't turn it around here in the final 2 weeks, and they play at Green Bay Saturday night before playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in the regular season finale. So if they find a way to win on Saturday night in a game that they could be without Lamar, possibly, if they find a way to win that game, they have a chance to beat Pittsburgh and win the division the next week. If they don't win the division, and they'd have to, again, if they lose Saturday night, they're out. If they lose the next week, they're out. If they don't win the division and don't make the playoffs, there are going to be many organizational discussions in which they have to decide, do we want to keep the head coach? What are we doing with the quarterback?
That's right.
So everything is up in the air the next 2 weeks, and the 2 weeks that we're about to see will have some type of influence on where they're going in the future.
So let me take you behind the curtain in that scenario. And look, I'm as big a John Harbaugh fan as there is, but let's say, to Adam's point, let's say he's not there, Brian. Lamar Jackson becomes even more valuable because he's going to attract the best coaching candidates.
Right.
Because there'll be a line around the corner to say somebody in his prime with his ability. That's a great place to start.
Here's what I would say. If they don't go to the playoffs, you look at it, I would say it's going to be difficult for them to come out of those organizational meetings saying, we're going to run it back again with the same group. Like that feels like the lesser scenario, the least likely scenario when they go into those meetings if they don't make it. Somebody, they're going to do something.
Gonna happen. Right. No one's coming out of this unscathed. Something is going to happen in the organization to make you don't underperform as a team to this level this season and something not happen and change. I will say this because we've had this conversation and I had it yesterday. It is really difficult to replace a franchise quarterback.
That's right.
I'm just letting you know there's 10 on the planet right now that you'd want to build. If you got one,
we got a lot to talk about here on Get Up.